add value to your business, or do you want to just be this administrative person?
And often if you look at your talent team and the caliber of talent in your company, they correlate.
You could hire the best person for the job if they were in your candidate pool.
All these individual employees, one by one, together, their voices all come together to articulate the culture of the company.
Like a lot of other industries, I think recruiting is becoming more of a high-tech industry.
Hi everyone, Britt Ryan here, head of recruiting at Entelo, back for another exciting episode of Hiring on All Cylinders. And I am exceptionally privileged today to be here with our CEO, John Bischke. John, this is our first time doing Hiring on All Cylinders together.
I'm excited, Britt. This is a pleasure.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure as well. So I'm curious, John, tell me a little bit about what brings you here today.
Well, we have a little bit of an announcement today. So today we're launching a brand new product at Entelo. It's called Entelo Envoy, and it's been something we've been working on for quite a long time. It's a product that we think is something that could change how people think about recruiting. And we say that with, the humility of, we work with hundreds of companies right now, and we see how big of a struggle it is in many of these companies to find the best talent. And most of the companies that we have worked with over the years are big believers that you need to do sourcing, that you need to source passive candidates, that you need to be reaching out to people that wouldn't otherwise be in your pipeline. And at the same time, it takes time to source. It takes energy. There are people that are good at it. There are people that are not as good at it. And so having had all these conversations over the years, we said, what if we could build technology that would help people source more effectively by doing more of the work for them? So that's what we've built in Entelo Envoy. We're launching it publicly today. We've had over 50 companies in a beta, and it's been phenomenal to see the results and to see what they're telling us about the product. So we're just really fired up to get it out into the market and to have more and more people be able to leverage the technology and hopefully see more and more success amongst our customers.
God, that is very exciting. I know I've been part of the team here that's been eagerly awaiting this, and feel very privileged that as part of the recruiting team here that we've actually got to play with the product ourselves. So looking forward to getting it into the hands of other recruiters out there. I'm curious if you could maybe share with us a little bit more around how does this work? Like, we know about sourcing, people are using Entelo, they're using the search product and other resources to get out there and to source and to find candidates. So what's the difference? How does this change things for recruiters?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is it takes a lot of the legwork away from the recruiter. So if you think about what a lot of recruiters will do, they'll run their searches, they'll find candidates, they'll reach out to them, and really what they're hoping for at the end of the day is that someone shows up in their inbox who replies to that message that they sent and wants to talk to them about a job. So how they get there, you talk to most recruiters, they won't necessarily say that they care that much. And they'll use different things. They'll use Entelo, they'll use job boards, they'll use recruiting agencies, they'll leverage a whole bunch of different things. But the goal is you want interested candidates in your inbox. That's what everybody wants in recruiting. So if we can take just a minimal amount of information from a customer about a job that they're trying to fill, right? Give us the job rec, give us a few other pieces of data, just very, very simple. And then we can go off and we can do all the other pieces. We can identify who the candidates are that are the right fit. We can do all the best practices on engaging those candidates. The user or the candidate experience is no different. They're receiving messages from the recruiters at the companies. But the recruiter has not had to sit down and do all the heavy lifting. The technology, Envoy's technology, has done that on their behalf. So what we see is a dynamic where then recruiters can shift more and more time into the direction of high value add activities, right? Candidate experience, doing more phone screens, interacting live with people more. They'll have more time for that because what we're doing is helping to offload some of the things that they do that we think are lower value. And frankly, that many recruiters don't enjoy doing that much. So most people, I'm sure this is true of you, did not get into recruiting because they want to sit behind a computer and search databases all day long. Now, some people love that, and we support that. And the Entelo search product is a phenomenal product for that. And people will continue to use that. But there are many people in recruiting who say, look, I want to find more people that are interested in jobs. If I was able to do that without having to spend hours and hours sourcing, win. And that's effectively what we're bringing to market with Envoy.
I love that. And you made the point, you were talking about it initially. I thought, well, gosh, is this something where Entelo has just gone off and hired a bunch of sourcers and we're saying we're going to do the work for you? But you had said something that it's actually Envoy's technology that does that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we're leveraging all of the cutting edge technology. And I try to not say the buzzwords out of the gate of AI and machine learning and deep learning, but that's what we're leveraging. We're leveraging all those technologies because fundamentally, at its core, what Envoy is, it's a matching engine. And so if we think about all of the recs, all the jobs that people are trying to fill, and then we think about all the hundreds of millions of people out there in the world who we have data about, the goal is how do we find the right people for the role? So we're looking at a whole host of different variables, some related to the individual, some related to the company that is looking for someone, because that matters too. We're taking all of that into account, and then once we find that list of people that are the right people for the role, then it becomes now the best practices around engagement. So if you're reaching out to people, there is a right type of message, there is a right day of week, there is a right time on that day of the week to send those messages. Envoy takes care of all of that for you. So you as a recruiter don't need to be thinking about, well, do I have to A/B test this thing? Or, should I try to experiment with different types of outreach? We do all that in the background, leveraging data science to effectively give you the ability to have this best practice form of outreach without having to know what that actually might be.
Right. And you made the point, and I appreciate that we're not going to be replacing recruiters completely.
Absolutely. Well, no, and I think if anything, so I look at, Salesforce, where you used to work. Salesforce is the leader in the category of Salesforce automation. Did Salesforce put salespeople out of business? No. I think almost every person in sales would say Salesforce made my job better. Marketing, right? You have companies like Marketo and HubSpot that were marketing automation. Did those companies put marketers out of business? No, they made the life of a marketer better. People became more productive. They became more empowered. So we see the same thing happening here. By giving this technology to recruiters, it'll actually empower them. They'll be able to get more done. They'll be more productive. And I think, frankly, they'll enjoy their jobs more.
Awesome. Curious, out of the 50 customers that we've had in beta, have you seen trends around, are they using this for all of their jobs, or is there a niche that this is going to sort of carve out?
It's a great question, and we're seeing a lot of experimentation. I think we'll start there. One of the things that we believe is that you could use this across all of your roles. There are probably going to be roles that are more effective on Envoy. So if you're trying to find a C-level executive for your company, you as the recruiter, you probably want to run that search yourself. You probably want to go in and look at everybody, see if they're connected to people in your company, write them highly personalized messages. That's probably a good thing if you're recruiting a C-level person. If you're recruiting someone who, you can throw up a job board post and 500 people apply and you get reasonably good quality, then that's what you should do. But there's a lot of stuff in the middle. And where we see a lot of companies have struggled is they say, we know we should be sourcing for more jobs. We know we should be doing more sourcing for the jobs that we do source for. We just don't have enough time in the day. And so that's really where Envoy comes in, where if you're a company and you're trying to hire 50 jobs and maybe 10 of them today you source for, but you really should be sourcing for 20 or 30 of them, that's where Envoy can effectively bridge the gap. And we're seeing a lot of our customers do that and say, wow, I probably wouldn't have had the time and data source for this role before. But now with Envoy, of course, it's easy. I can do that. So that's a big part of what we think is that this expands how many jobs a company might be sourcing for at any given moment, because the technology makes it so simple to do that.
Fantastic. Well, I'm really curious in terms of where we're going with the industry. There's been so much that's come out in the form of whether it's HR technology or things for recruiters. What are some of the insights that you have as it relates to where recruiting specifically is moving forward and how Envoy fits into that?
Like a lot of other industries, I think recruiting is becoming more of a high-tech industry. And so in the past, recruiting was lower tech, but so was sales. So is marketing, right? All these industries are moving more in the direction of technology. And I think that's incredibly empowering for people that are willing to go along with that trend. And so I think one of the best things, the most important things that people can do as recruiting professionals is just be up to speed. Know what's out there. Know what the various vendors are that are bringing products to market. There are very cool technologies, very cool AI-enabled technologies that we see in the market that are very different from Envoy. So survey the landscape. See what's out there. Stay on top of that, because if you latch on to a new technology that's effective quicker, that's going to give you competitive advantage against all the other companies that you're competing for talent with. So a lot of this is, how do you get the edge? And I think increasingly the edge in our industry is going to come from technology.
Fantastic. And for those who are intrigued and want to be early adopters and dive in, how do they find out more about Envoy?
Yeah, well, so you can certainly come to our website. You can go to entelo.com/envoy, ENVOY, if you want to see more specifically about the product. We're going to be demoing the product for those people who are going to be at the HR Technology Conference in Las Vegas. We'll have a booth there. We'll be demoing there. I'll be speaking at the ERE conference in Minneapolis the week after that. So certainly Envoy will be on the docket there. So lots of ways to get a hold of us, and we'd love to give you a demo. We'd love to talk with you about the customer success stories that we've already seen with Envoy. So please reach out to us, visit our website, come see us at a show. We'd love to show you Envoy.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for making the time for us today, John.
Thanks, Britt.